Yeah, that was cool. That was cool. That was cool. No, it wasn't the worst song I ever heard. It was the worst song I ever heard. That was cool. It was smooth. It was alright. It was alright. It was alright. Here we go right here. Look, cops think stepmom killed dad until 6-year-old reveals this clue.
It's the worst feeling thinking that you're gonna blame for your husband's death.
This is Melissa Oxley. 5 hours before this footage was recorded, Melissa was living a picture-perfect life with her husband Ben and her 6-year-old stepdaughter, Alyssa. The couple had been married for over a year, and Melissa had even adopted Ben's daughter on the day of their wedding. She was the mother Alyssa never had. But on February 21st, 2008, things took a disturbing turn for the worse, when at 3:30 a.m., Ben Oxley was found murdered in his bed with a shotgun wound to his head. His wife Melissa claims she was asleep next to him, but saw nothing. She was covered in blood and was physically unharmed.
The other thing I don't understand is why if somebody shoots him, why you not see anything.
I was still asleep, like I sleep down.
Police are convinced she killed her husband.
If it was just a random murder, why don't they take you out? Then you're right there.
The problem is, Melissa is innocent. The plot behind the murder of Ben Oxley would remain a mystery if it wasn't for one clever 6-year-old girl who wasn't asleep. That night, Alyssa saw something she should have never seen, and it could save her mother's life.
Alyssa, how old are you?
6. I woke up and heard this creak at the front door. I just looked out and I saw someone walking in.
Do you know who they were?
It's 2004. In the town of Minden, Nevada, 32-year-old Ben Oxley is a newly single dad, trying to rebuild his life after a somewhat bitter divorce. After gaining shared custody of his daughter Alyssa, he pours his whole heart into raising his 3-year-old. Together, they share a special bond like no other father and daughter. He takes Alyssa everywhere, even to a Valentine's Day event where the young father and daughter dance to their favorite song, Butterfly Kisses.
He was truly her best friend, and he was the best dad. That's all he cared about was Alyssa. That was his priority, was to take care of her.
He drove himself to be the best he could be for Alyssa.
Everybody said that he loved me more than anything, and I think it's true.
A year later, Ben begins looking for love again. He meets a woman named Melissa, and it seems like almost instantly, in their first few conversations, sparks are already flying. As they plan to finally meet in person, the single dad even brings Alyssa on their first date, as her approval meant the world to him.
Our first date, Alyssa was there. Alyssa's like, "Don't talk to my dad."
I remember meeting her. I didn't really like her.
Melissa, although taken aback by Alyssa's rejection on her first date, isn't upset at all. Rather, she absolutely falls in love with the bright child, finding her childish jealousy adorable. As Ben and Melissa's love blossoms, the three of them start forming a new blended family. It's now September 17th, 2006, almost a year after the young couple started dating. And now, they're getting married. And of course, they don't forget to create a special ceremony for the now 4-year-old Alyssa, the little flower girl. During the wedding, Melissa the bride bends down to the little girl and gently puts a bracelet on her wrist, engraved with her promise that they will always love each other and be there for each other as family.
Letting her know that I will always love her as my own.
Shortly after the wedding, Ben and Melissa were granted full custody of the little girl, no longer having split custody with Ben's ex-wife, Dawn. This brings together the full family, Ben's daughter and Melissa's teenage brother Craig, under one roof. From this day forward, Alyssa has a new stepmother. Built on love and with a bright future ahead of them, the new family has no idea that their life will take the most unimaginable turn. It's February 21st, 2008, 2 years after the happy wedding. At around 3:30 a.m., the Nevada police station receives a disturbing 911 call.
911, address of your emergency.
I was sleeping. I turned on the light to wake up my husband, and it's really, really bad.
On the phone with 911 is Melissa Oxley.
How do you sleep?
Stepmom.
How would you
her voice
sleep
shakes
in
as she
something
tells
like
them she just woke up in bed
That's what
next to
I
her
wanna know.
husband, covered in blood. The operator quickly dispatches police to the scene while continuing questioning.
Is he awake?
No, he's dead.
He's dead. So you think somebody came in and shot him?
Yeah.
Where's your husband at?
No, lay down, lay down. I'm so tired.
Who are you talking to right now?
My daughter.
Just stay in the bedroom with your daughter,
I like that.
okay?
I like that she called her
6-year-old
daughter.
Alyssa
That's a
is in a
great.
state of shock as she begs her stepmother to let her
That's a
see her
great
dad,
start.
but Melissa refuses, holding on to the little girl.
But I want to go see my dad. I want to go see my dad. And I just told her, you can't go see your dad.
Suddenly, the stepmother hears noise coming from outside the room. She urgently updates the dispatcher, fearing an intruder might still be in the house.
Please, there's somebody there.
Okay, while I'm talking to you, my partner is dispatching units out, okay?
We immediately called code 3, lights and sirens, driving as fast as we can to get to the scene.
Okay.
When police arrive, the front door is wide open. On alert, they approach the empty foyer. It's pitch black, all the lights are off, and they hear nothing but the eerie silence.
I was thinking, am I gonna see a deceased person or am I gonna encounter someone pointing a gun at me?
Police quietly make their way through the house and head to the first bedroom.
Police are brave,
there,
bro,
as
because
they peek inside, they
I'm
find a
telling you right
dark
now,
figure lying.
bro. If this is me and I'm the cop in this situation, bro, and they just got a call that someone got murdered in their crib, and then the person on the phone is like, oh yeah, the person might still be in the crib, I'm not going in there. I'm not going in there. Bro, that's a death wish. Imagine you walk in, you turn a corner, and you get a shotgun shell to the head. You better hope and pray that he misses and your partner shoots the dude trying to kill you. Bro, that is scary. That is insanely scary.
Lying in
That's
bed,
like that's
covered
like
by
straight out
blankets,
of like a
not moving.
like a
We're yelling
movie.
sheriff's office, show us your hands multiple times, and we're getting no response from the subject that's in the bed under the covers.
Probably because he's
All of a
dead.
sudden, a young man emerges from under the blankets, seemingly waking up from a deep sleep as he raises his hands in the air. Panicked, he tells the police, who are pointing their guns at him, that his name is Craig. The 17-year-old is Melissa's younger brother, who was living with the family at the time.
And from that point, my
Okay,
attention got
let's
drawn
really
back
break
up to
this down. Let's really break this down right now. What's good, Jess? So Craig is sleeping. Said that's why you gotta throw flashbangs? Nah, man. So Craig is sleeping. And Alyssa's sleeping.
the hallway, and I saw Melissa. She's
Oh,
standing
Melissa,
there.
my bad.
She's got blood on her clothing, and just in shock is her face.
Melissa stands in the hallway, holding a phone in one hand and her stepdaughter in the other. Police quickly clear the rest of the house, finding no one else except the body of Ben Oxley in the master bedroom.
I could tell that there was a shotgun wound to
That's
the
what I'm
back
saying,
of his
Cookie.
skull.
Shotgun
It appeared when I did
wound?
my initial
Bro,
investigation.
a shotgun shell, bro, you're not gonna not hear that. I don't care how deep of a sleeper you are, bro. If you're sleeping right next to someone, all you heard is bro, you're going to hear that.
That he was asleep when he was killed.
There are no signs of a break-in, no shattered windows, no forced-in doors. To the investigators,
I think it was
feels
his
like the
wife. I
killer
think his
wasn't
wife
a
did it.
stranger.
I think his
Maybe
wife
it was
did it.
someone who
His
lived
ex-wife.
there, Melissa, or her teen brother, Craig. They are brought into the police station
Why would
for
Craig do that
interrogations.
though? What purpose would Craig do that for? And secondary question, how did the 17-year-old boy get a fucking shotgun?
Little Alyssa is now separated from her stepmother. Everyone is doing everything they can to make sure she's safe, but at only 6 years old, she cannot comprehend what is happening. She does not yet realize that she will never see her loving father, her closest
Damn, that's
friend,
so sad,
ever
bro.
again.
That's so sad.
Trying to figure out who is responsible for Ben's murder, suspicion tightens on Craig when police find 2 shotgun shells on his nightstand. The
Okay, he did it. We got him. We got him. That's it. We got him. Hey, lock him up. Throw away the key. Throw away the key.
ammunition is his. He's the only one in the family with an interest in guns.
Okay, it was
Craig
him.
had duck hunting equipment, avid hunter, and somebody
It was him
with a
then.
firearm. Ben Oxley had been shot with a shotgun. That was very suspicious.
However, despite 2 shotgun shells standing on his nightstand, Craig claims he was sleeping until police arrived.
Cap.
I was pretty tired last night. I was in a pretty deep sleep even when I got there. I didn't even know what was going on really.
Cap.
So you didn't hear anything? No, my
Lying.
doors were shut.
He's lying.
Did you kill Ben?
I did not.
Investigators aren't convinced by Craig's story, but when the test results come back, the room falls silent. There's no gunpowder residue on his hands, no evidence that he fired a weapon. He was, as he claimed, in his room asleep at the time of the murder. The focus shifts. Now, all eyes are on Melissa.
Why somebody shoots him, I can't see anything.
I don't know. and we don't know.
Sometimes people know more than they want to tell or share. And I really need it all.
We don't know.
It's the worst feeling thinking that you're getting blamed for your husband's death. No.
Oh, was she
It's
crying like that?
counterintuitive to your
That's
thought
not help
process when
her.
you see she's covered in blood, but she wasn't hurt. She's giving me a story. I want to know the truth, obviously, but is this really the truth? Because how could you be in close proximity to somebody
And not
that gets
hear it, right?
killed and not be involved?
Right.
Melissa quickly becomes their prime suspect. She insists she knows nothing about her husband's death, but the detectives don't believe her.
I don't believe
How
her
could she
either.
have been
I
sleeping
don't believe
right
Craig
beside
either.
him and not noticed anything? To them, she's the only lead they have. But at this moment, they have no proof, no hard evidence to arrest her, or to arrest anyone for that matter. But what the detectives don't know is that in the room next to the murder, the little girl wasn't asleep as she should have been. In fact, she was the only one in the house who saw something crucial that night. But before we continue with Alyssa's story, we'd like to thank today's video sponsor, Raycon.
Oh,
With their help,
sponsor.
we can continue bringing you the most powerful store recipient is guarantee.com/ get up to 20
No
to
promo.
buy. Thanks again. And now, back to the wall. As investigation. And now, back to the case of Alyssa. At this point,
Oh,
the
promo,
investigation
bro.
hits a wall, as they neither have any physical evidence putting Craig at the crime scene, nor any proof that Melissa has killed her husband.
I
And
think
police
it's
are
Craig
forced
still,
to
I don't
release
care.
both suspects. However, police then uncover a $400,000 life insurance policy Ben left behind.
Oh yeah, Melissa did it. 400,000. 400,000. Yeah, it was her.
All of which would go to Melissa if he passed away.
Oh yeah, it was her.
Though
It was her.
Melissa claimed to know nothing of the policy, this feels like a smoking gun, particularly to Ben's family, who feel that it's very possible that Melissa killed her husband for this big payout. With rumors swirling, now the whole town is closely watching this
400K,
newly
I'm
widowed
doing that
woman,
too.
and they all
In
have their own
GTA, in
theories
GTA, in
of how she
GTA.
escaped the murder charge.
Everybody in town just assumed that his wife murdered him while he was sleeping.
She's the prime suspect. She's the wife. She was laying in bed with him. It doesn't make sense that she wasn't shot.
Facts.
As the investigation goes on, to protect the little
Or
girl,
Cookie.
the judge sends Alyssa.
Or Cookie. Peep game, right? The ex-wife thinks that she is still on the life insurance plan, and she thinks that she gonna get the 400K. So she comes in and shoots him.
Back to her birth mother, Ben's ex-wife. Alyssa is left in a family she knows very little about, now living with her birth mother Dawn, Dawn's new boyfriend James, and her other children.
It was James. It was James. It was James. It was James. 100% James. Locked.
Despite being back with her birth mother,
Locked. James.
the little girl desperately misses her stepmother, Melissa. The 6-year-old is dealing with the sudden grief and sadness of losing
Locked.
her father.
It was James.
The man who was always there for her, someone who
Final
cared
answer.
for her,
Final answer.
supported her, and sacrificed everything for her.
His daughter was his priority. Alyssa was everything to him. He was so joyful, fun, loving dad. He drove himself to be the best he could be for Alyssa.
W dad,
All
bro.
Alyssa
W
wants
pops.
is for things to go back to normal with her dad and stepmother. But
in
separated
peace,
from
bro.
Melissa at her new home, the little girl is exposed to all the nasty rumors and accusations being thrown at her stepmom. Everyone around her is talking about her father's killer, and they are all pointing the finger at Melissa, especially her mother Dawn.
She told me that she thought my stepmom
Bro, you can't tell that to a kid, bro.
killed my dad that night.
Bro, you can't say that to a kid, bro.
Yeah, I didn't believe it, but
Against all odds, the 6-year-old is the only one who believes in Melissa's innocence, even though the pair are being kept separate. Despite what others say, Alyssa trusts herself that the love she experienced and the happy time she spent with her father and stepmother
can't say that
were
to a
true.
kid. That's
What she's
crazy,
able to
bro.
tell detectives is something that nobody has been able to confirm until now.
One thing investigators did not expect was that Ben's 6-year-old daughter, Alyssa, could have been a witness.
You're a smart little
I
girl.
woke up and heard this creak at the front door.
Smart little girl.
I heard it and I just looked out and I saw someone walking in.
Do you know who they were?
I don't know who it was.
She just recognized it as a person that was looking in on her. That was the first time we now had somebody else possibly involved.
Alyssa's testimony drops a bombshell on detectives' theories about Melissa, and they begin going over everyone who might have had conflicts with Ben. But what they don't realize is that the true killer has actually been right under their noses.
I couldn't think of anybody that would want him dead, you know, besides
Dawn, yep.
After Ben's death,
Yep.
Dawn finally
We
gets
on
her
their
daughter
ass, Cookie.
back from her ex-husband.
We on
something
their ass,
that she's
Cookie.
always wanted since the divorce several
Yep.
years prior. Thinking it's finally time to start a new life with little Alyssa, Dawn is unaware that the detectives are actively launching an investigation into her, and soon they discover that Dawn is not the mother that every daughter hopes for. In fact, it seems Dawn has a history of neglect, of not providing for her daughter.
L fucking mom.
Met a guy and she would stay the night at his house.
L fucking
And then
mom.
when her kids are calling us up saying, we don't have any food in the house, can you come and bring us food? There's a problem.
The hell?
Detectives begin to uncover Dawn's long history in and out of jail for her drug addiction, which turns out to be the exact reason why she
Good.
lost custody of Alyssa to Ben
Good.
in the divorce in
Good,
the first
great.
place.
The child custody dispute
W fucking
between
dad, L
Ben and
fucking
Dawn.
mom.
That weighed heavily on Dawn. She took that very
W
personally.
stepmom,
In
actually.
contrast to the happy family
The
household
stepmom is
Alyssa
9
had with
times
her
better than
father
the
and
mom.
stepmom, she must now deal with her mother's struggle with addiction to drugs and alcohol, petty crime, and neglect all over again. Investigators now bring Dawn in for an interview,
He gets to a
trying to
point,
find out if
dude.
she had any connection to Ben's murder, and to figure out
I
where
think it
she
was her.
was the night of the murder.
I think it
She
was her.
stated that she was at the house the whole time, and that was all that she knew.
Who was at the house?
My son, Devin, and James. And James is my best friend's son. He hangs out there a lot.
It's 4:30. Who else is still up?
James was still awake with me. And he just told me to go to bed.
And why did you go to
Are
bed?
you romantically involved with James?
Whoa.
Him and I are just really good friends.
As Dawn tells investigators
Whoa.
that James Metlene is her new friend, they soon discover that he has a long history of being in and out of prison and has recently been living with Dawn for a while. The night of Ben's murder, he claims he was watching a movie with Dawn at home.
It was him.
Although
I
this
knew it was
sounds like the
James.
perfect alibi, something doesn't sit well with the detectives.
We're starting to put James Matling and Don Oxley into the forefront of our investigation because we felt they had something to do with it. We just didn't know what it was.
Now, James is brought into the police station for questioning. He sits across from
Oh, yeah, they call
detectives in
his
a
ass.
small room.
Oh, yeah, they call
Questions
his
begin,
ass.
circling around
Alright,
one
lock in,
thing,
lock in, lock
his
in.
possible connection to
Lock
the
in, lock
murder
in, lock
of
in.
Ben Oxley.
Did I kill Ben? No. Do I know who killed Ben? No. Did Don kill Ben? No. Do I know anything about the murder? No.
Were you and Don in any way involved in the plan?
Why are you getting so defensive?
No. I'm looking you in your eyes. I did not kill him. I had nothing to do with him.
There is no physical evidence, nothing to prove them guilty, and they both adamantly deny any involvement, but time is running out, and if James or Dawn are involved in the murder of Ben Oxley, 6-year-old Alyssa is in great danger.
Facts.
Melissa desperately hopes to be reunited with her stepdaughter, but legally, the police's hands are tied, and unless they have solid evidence against Dawn and James...
Wait. Didn't she adopt her though? And the dad had full custody. So I feel like, wait. Since she adopted her and the dad had full custody, like it wasn't even like split. I feel like the stepmom should have had custody of her kid because the dad had full custody and adopted her and they were married. Like I feel like no matter what, that stepmother should have full custody of that kid. I don't know. Maybe I'm
no reason to take the girl away from them. Alyssa
Maybe I'm
remains in the custody of her birth mother. With no other options, the police focus all their efforts on uncovering the truth. They need evidence, something solid
Obviously,
to
the
act
mom
on. That's when they turn
lost
to their
custody
next
for a
move,
reason.
Surveillance.
We did open surveillance where we followed them and made sure they knew we were following them around.
We wanted them to see us following them. We wanted them to see us out and about in the community where they were at, to add pressure.
As we started looking at Don and James Matling, we started hearing a little bit about them being in a relationship, which was denied at first. And the question is why was that held from us?
The initial interviews at the house, they said they never left. They obtained the surveillance video. We found out James was at the convenience store the morning of the homicide.
They're cooked, bro.
So we know that now his story has changed.
It's
First he never left the house, and now we know he's out and about
it's over.
in the early morning hours of the night of the homicide.
What do you think I lied to you about?
in that first
Lena.
interview, when I originally asked you if you had gone out of the house that
Hey,
night,
buddy.
you told me no. Okay. You made up a big story about how you guys watched movies all night long, how you passed out on the couch, et cetera, et cetera. You went on about that. Later, I found out through surveillance video that you were at 7-Eleven.
They caught his ass, Cookie. He lying.
Looking into them deeply, like, okay, so if you're
He
lying, what
lying.
else is not true?
But even with the surveillance footage as proof that James was lying about his and Dawn's whereabouts the night of the murder, there still isn't enough evidence to arrest anyone. All other evidence leads to Melissa, who only wants one thing, to be back with her stepdaughter. Police are unsure where to turn next when,
But I
in a
feel like
twist no one saw coming,
I feel like
voice emerges in the
I feel like
investigation.
she should have never even lost the stepdaughter to begin with. Like, I feel like the stepdaughter should be in full custody of the stepmom. I got the job? Nice. I'm gonna be serving perks. Let me get some.
A voice that cuts deeper than
me
any
get
other.
some.
Dawn's own teenage son and Alyssa's half-brother, Devin. He walks into the police station, his face heavy with the weight of what he's about to reveal. He says there's something he needs to confess, something crucial that he saw at his mother's house the night before Ben's murder.
Throughout the night, she kept going that she wants Ben dead.
Devin tells investigators about Dawn's rant that night. She hated Ben for ruining her life, for making her pay child support, and she blamed him for taking Alyssa away from her.
Then James, just out of nowhere, kept saying, you know what, I'll go kill him for you. Just
What?
Give me the word and I'll go kill him for you. And she just kept saying, I just want him dead.
Devin's account changes everything.
I knew it was James.
Suddenly,
I logged
the
it in.
walls close in on
I knew it
Dawn.
was James.
Even her boyfriend, James, turns against her, coming forward with chilling details about the lies, the motive, and how Dawn was the true mastermind behind Ben's murder.
She was always ranting and raving about Ben. I said, I'll take care of Ben. And she said, I don't want you to take care of Ben, I want you to kill Ben.
Oh.
I said, you want me to kill Ben? She said, yes.
With Ben out of the picture, Dawn would rid herself of the $200 monthly child support payment and gain custody of Alyssa.
Wait. Women have to pay child support? I never knew that. Wait, why did I never know this? Wait, why is this new to me? Wait, I never knew that. I actually never knew that. I thought that was just a man thing. I thought only men had to do that. And $200 a month, that ain't nothing. Like, you should be grateful that you only pay $200 a month for fucking child support. Like,
Devin and James' testimonies, the cracks in Dawn's story were no longer cracks. They became gaping holes. Coming to terms with how Dawn had manipulated him all along, James recounts exactly what happened on the night of the murder.
Yeah,
he
Lena,
tells
like,
investigators that
they be
both he and
$500,
Dawn were in
$600
the Oxy's
child
house
support.
on the night of February 21st,
yo,
2000.
you know what? Dude, I will never, ever in my life forgive my mom for not making my dad pay child support. He passed away. He passed away a few years back now. I'd never seen any sort of money from him. Ever. Mind you, maybe like 2 years ago, my grandma on his side wanted to like meet me because I never really met that side of the family. Like, I never met that side of the family, so she wanted to meet me. But I was like, nah, I'm not jacking it. I also have like 3 half-sisters that I never met in my life, which is kind of insane to me. And they low-key kind of look like me.
And as I'm walking down the hallway, Dawn stops in front of an open doorway. Which wasn't...
Bro, honestly, who knows how many siblings I have? Like, realistically, who knows?
Bedroom. And I'm almost to the master bedroom. And I turn around and see that Dawn's not following me.
I woke up and heard this creak at the front door. And I heard it, and I just looked out, and I saw someone walking in.
The scary dark figure standing in Alyssa's room was her own mother, Dawn.
Dawn had asked if I'd kill Alyssa too. And I agreed to it.
At this moment, James is ready. The shotgun sits heavy in his hands as he stands in the master bedroom, 2 shells loaded. Outside, Dawn rushes to start the car, the engine rumbling, ready for a quick getaway. Slowly, he raises the shotgun, aiming it squarely at Ben.
I don't know how long I was standing there. Something happened, it jolted, and I pulled the trigger. It shot Ben. It killed Ben.
Next, he pointed the gun at Melissa, his second.
Yeah, this nigga just... he just snitched on himself. He just straight up snitched on himself, like... That's what it is. That's guilty conscious. That's the guilty conscious of you doing something that you know you're not supposed to do, and it overcomes your mind where you have to say something. And that's how a lot of people that kill people, that's how they get arrested. That's how they get life in prison.
Victim. His finger hovered over the trigger, ready to end another life. But then, something shifted. It's as if a wave of hesitation washed over him. Without firing, he lowered the weapon, turned, and ran out of the room. Moments later, the sound of his footsteps faded as he rushed towards the car, leaving Melissa and the 6-year-old alive. With James' confession confirming their worst fears about Dawn, police are horrified that Alyssa had been in the custody of her father's murderers all along. But the 6-year-old's loyalties never wavered. She knew Melissa was entirely innocent and stuck up for her when no one else believed in her. She told police about the shadowy figure she saw that night, who would prove to be the mastermind.
Bro, how could you kill somebody that your daughter loves so much, bro? Like, that's so insane to me, man. Bro, her dad loved that girl, bro. How
Behind
could you
her
do
father's
that?
death, none
Like,
other
how
than
could
her
you do
own
that?
biological mother. After
That's so
taking Dawn and
selfish.
James into custody, Alyssa is finally reunited with her beloved stepmother. Throughout the entire investigation, Melissa had fought for her stepdaughter, and she had been doing the same thing all along. When Alyssa steps
so
through the door
selfish.
of their family home, there is joy and happiness. But at the same time, being back together means
The pair must come to
Oh, my
terms with
headset.
the magnitude of the loss of their husband and father and how to move forward as a new family. 4 years later, on June.
My fault.
2012, the stepmother and daughter finally prepare themselves for the trial against
Why did
Ben's
my
killers,
music just stop?
James and Dawn. Alyssa, now 10 years old, sits in the courtroom watching the proceedings.
My
In the
bad.
4 years since her father's
My
death,
bad.
the wounds she carries are deep, and her path to healing will be long. But at this moment, Alyssa knows she has to be strong, and thankfully, she's had a great role model.
Yo,
Her
W
stepmother, Melissa,
fucking
takes the
stepmom,
stand,
bro.
facing the man who pulled the trigger that fateful night. She
W
testifies
stepmom, bro.
against James, the one responsible for taking everything from them.
Emotionally, the damage you have caused me is almost unbearable. For Alyssa, you
Bro, how could you
crumbled
do
her
that, bro?
foundation
Yeah, how could you do that, bro?
and
That's so
everything
selfish of
she
you,
knew
bro.
to be right and true.
Alyssa's half-brother and Dawn's son, Devin, also takes a stand to reiterate his statement about his mother's involvement in the murder. In the 4 years since the initial arrest, Devin has left his mom's house and joined the army, and now bravely testifies against her, telling
Devin.
the court about the horrible environment he
What
and
a
his
great
siblings
guy.
grew up in due to
What
her
a
neglect
great
and
freaking guy.
addictions. Dawn's parental rights to Alyssa are fully terminated, and she
Yeah,
is
no shit.
officially put behind bars for numerous offenses,
No shit.
including
Lock her away
parole
forever, I'm
violations,
not gonna lie.
DUI, and domestic battery. However, with the solid proof that James was the one actually pulling the trigger, the evidence against Dawn now seems mainly limited to only claims of plotting and manipulation, and the case becomes circumstantial. Dawn manages to gain immunity to the murder charge in exchange for
What?
her testimony
Come
against
on,
James,
bro.
ultimately betraying their supposed initial plan.
What?
James pleads guilty to first-degree murder and is sentenced to life without
No,
parole.
bro, you
Finally, Ben
no, bro, you gotta put both of them behind bars, life, no parole. Never let them see outside ever again, bro. They ruin that little girl's whole, like, perception of how a family is supposed to be, bro. Like, come on, bro.
and Oxley has justice. But then, just as James is being taken away to be imprisoned forever, Alyssa speaks up with a surprising and remarkable request. She wants to speak with her father's murderer, one-on-one.
I told him that I decided to forgive him.
Aw.
And that I wanted him to have hope.
Despite the tears, grief, and pain of losing her father, Alyssa, at only 10 years old, found the extraordinary courage to forgive her dad's
said she
killer.
better than me.
She had only kindness and love to give,
Nah, 'cause he's
even in the
funny.
face of all she had endured. This allowed her to start the journey of healing and begin to come to terms with the tragedy she experienced. With the guidance and love of her stepmother, Melissa, the
W
pair made their
stepmom.
own unlikely family together as true mother and daughter. Their new
That's
family even
heartwarming,
includes
bro.
Brandy, another of Dawn's children, and Alyssa's half-sister, who was left motherless after
Yo.
the conviction, though she
Yo.
herself had no connection.
So she basically just took all of her kids. No. No, that's crazy.
to Brandy, Melissa committed
That's
to paving
crazy.
a new way forward for herself and her stepdaughter, welcoming
W
Brandy as she
stepmom,
had
bro.
Alyssa, becoming the loving mother and safe family that both girls needed.
It is a
W
family,
stepmom, bro.
and that's what I need.
Investigation being finalized, I was able to have Alyssa back full time. It was like another piece given back, like we could go on.
As Melissa and her 2 new daughters adjust to their blended family life, they find ways to move past the events of February 21st, 2008.
Bro, I'm not gonna lie, bro. If something like this happened to me, like someone got shot, like my significant other got killed right next to me, I don't think I could ever sleep. I don't think I could ever sleep. Bro, that's so traumatizing, bro. Like, as soon as my eyes would close, I'd just be so scared. Like, for the rest of my life.
I try not to think about the murder. I try to just really think about Ben and the memories. It's just like that sense of security and love and
like, I could
smile
not be
that
okay
I come
with
home to every day. There's still a sense of him here and with us. Like he has so much to live on and the legacy here that he's left and how he loved.
The pair cherishes their memories of Ben and know the happiness and connection the 3 of them felt will live on forever.
I miss him a lot. I think he still loves me and that I'm doing much better than I was at my other house.
It will always be in my heart. He'll never be forgotten.
On her wedding day, Melissa made a promise to be with Ben and Alyssa for the rest of their lives. The love we choose is the love that lasts forever.
R.I.P. Ben, bro. L mom. R.I.P. Ben. W stepmom. The wife who supported her stepchild and her siblings not related to her. Angel on earth. Facts. Facts. Missing an amazing person for adopting all these kids in action. Facts.